Similar to learn this before dating anyone. Um, yeah, I don't know what this video is about, but it sounds interesting, so I'm gonna see what they're talking about and what you shouldn't do, I'm assuming.
If you are considering getting in a relationship or you're already in a relationship, I highly recommend to never talk bad about your partner in general, but especially to other people. You got to be very careful about the things you share about your relationship, especially, the things y'all going through, because people are always waiting for an opportunity to put their influences in your relationship and pretty much sever the bond you have with a person. So if you feel like you can't talk to your person, if you feel like y'all can't come together and solve issues, there's a problem. A lot of the times it happens because you try to open up to somebody and they want you to talk. And the moment you open up, they use everything you said against you. Everything. You become vulnerable to them. You express how you feel and they use that against you. And then they wonder why you don't open up. They wonder why you seek external advice and influence because I'm hurt here. You know what I'm saying? Where I trusted the most, where I was the most vulnerable. Those things happen. But you got to be able to fix the problems in house. Nothing external can fix what's inside. So it's not a good idea to tell people all your business. Yeah, you might have to talk to somebody. Yeah, you might have a close friend that you can trust and things like that. But still, you can't talk too much because you're going to start to get that outside influence. Instead of you being in your relationship thinking, well, this is what me and her, or this is what me and my person have to fix. You're going to be thinking, oh, well, I wonder what they thinking. I wonder what mom thinks about my relationship. I wonder what my sister thinks about my relationship, because you starting to train yourself to rely on other people to fix your problems. But what I wanted to talk about specifically is the reputation you can create about your partner. Whenever, and I pride myself in this. And like I said, I'm going to start
Okay.
off with accountability on my part. I did talk about my situations to people, that was close. It wasn't just like anybody. But the thing is, I never bashed my ex. Never bashed my ex. And if I caught myself in a story getting to the point where I see their face like, bro, you dealt with that, I'm like, no, let me go ahead and clear it up. This is like a small percentage of what happened. You know what I'm saying? The negative always gets magnified, but I just want to be very clear. Blah, 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 blah. And I would always clean up her name. Always did. But I never did bash her. But it was a few times she did bash me, and I've heard it in real time. You know what I'm saying? But she would bash me, and her friends would say all this stuff, and they would influence all her negative thoughts to the point where they would talk about me behind my back and say things about me that they would never say to my face. And it influenced a lot of the things in our relationship. Like, for example, if you sit there and tell somebody about all the negative things that happen in your relationship. Let's say you're in a relationship and your partner just yelled at you, and then they come home angry the next day, and then a week later they do this and they do that, and you keep running and telling your friends, "Oh, she did this. Oh, they did that. Oh, they did this. Oh, they did that." They're gonna be like, "Oh, well, this is a horrible person. You deserve better. You this, you that. You need to leave this person." But what about that Wednesday when that person brought you flowers? What about that Friday when that person rubbed your back? What about that Saturday when that person listened to all your problems when you didn't listen to their problems? What about that Monday when
What
they
if they
was
don't do that
brushing
at
your
all?
hair?
Because some people
What
don't do
about
that
all
at
these
all.
days they took you on these excursions and they did all these things for you? Not for you them not for you to say thank you. They just wanted to do it. But when they have these slips and slopes, that's the thing that gets focused on. It's like when you good for a person and you doing what you can for a person, even if things aren't always well, you can mean well by the person. But the moment they go out and spill negative about you, all that gets erased. You could literally buy a person the entire world and you accidentally step on one tree or you burn down. Let's say you did it intentionally. You burned down one tree. They will have the whole universe thinking that you're evil because of those outside influences. And then their influences will get into your relationship and start to run your relationship. I remember we had an issue one time and my ex wanted to bring her parents in it. And I was like, don't you dare. Don't you dare. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, I'll do it. I'll do it. And I'm like, for one, go ahead and, you know what? Go ahead and show me how immature you are, for one. Because you claim to want to move away from your parents and you claim to want all these things. And I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to build this for us. But if you move out, you can't just run to your parents. You can't just run for help. I'm literally here trying to help you. You seeking help that has never been there. You know what I'm saying? And then once they get into our relationship and they know what's going on, they're gonna start having influences. You're gonna stop thinking for yourself, and things are gonna become tarnished. But I said, go ahead and show me, do it. So she went and told her parents about some things, and it was simple stuff. Like it wasn't some traumatic experiences, but she went, and once her parents got involved and once her family started getting involved and what we had going on, it forever changed the dynamic of our relationship. Forever. I never bashed her, to my mom or my family. I kept all that on the low profile because it's my relationship. When I would be going through something, my mom would see it all over my face, but I never did bash her. But one thing that stuck with me, I remember one time I went over there and, we was all cuddled up and stuff. And her sister came in the door and they was talking or whatnot. And me and her little sister was kind of close, at a period of time, right? But that started to fade as things happened. But I remember she told her sister, I love my Santa Claus, because I was acting like Santa Claus. I was walking around and acting like I had presents. I was just doing the whole gig. And she was like, I love my Santa Claus. And her little sister said, you need to make up your mind. It's a new story every day and every week. When I tell you, I just turned myself off. I was like, wow. Now I can speak about it and I don't feel anything. But in that moment, I had to literally, like, find a fly on the wall to act like I didn't hear that. And then, when somebody did something and they get confronted about it, like let's say somebody was talking about you, and then somebody come in the room like, what, you just talking about that person yesterday? And then they look at you with like that scary, they want that approval, like, I'm sorry, like that look. I seen her look at me. I just looked up in the corner and was like, huh? It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. Because it's some type of, I don't know what it is. Very rarely do you find people that want you to be happy. Very rarely do you find people that are happier when you're with somebody and when you're happy and when you're thriving in a relationship. Even people that really care about you, it's like some dynamic. They just want you to themselves and they want you to be around them. They don't want you to be in a relationship. Because when I was with my homeboys, whenever I got in a relationship, I was nowhere around. We used to chill, we used to hang out all the time. You know what I'm saying? But once I got in a relationship, I disappeared. And it was my choice, but they didn't hate that. You know what I'm saying? They supported me in everything I did. And that's how I am, man. I give you advice. And like I always say, I give perspective advice. All I'm going to do is offer you a new perspective or show you what's going on, things that you're not seeing. Never will I ever tell you what to do. And if I start to give that instructional advice, I'll stop myself and be like, yo, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. That is your relationship. All I want you to do is be happy. I want you to make the best decision possible because I can't.
I'm gonna stop the video right there. 8 minutes. It's like a little bit too long, but I understand his point. It's a good point. I agree with him on don't talk to other people about your relationship because some people only want to they only hear the bad and they get their own opinion on someone that they don't even know. And yeah, it creates a weird type of dynamic where I don't know, they just don't think you should be in that relationship, but they don't really know the good moments if you only talk about the bad ones. I can relate with that kinda, but when he was saying in the video how that one day they can bring you flowers or they can be nice, that was sad to me because some people don't get that, like, nice person, like, most of the time. Like, I'm not gonna say personal experience, but I can relate with that. But that's all I'm gonna say for that. I'm not gonna go into my personal experience with that shit. But, yeah, it is, like, it's hard to connect with people out here. It's not easy when everyone You know, everyone just wants to date someone, but it's a lot of work to make it last, like for sure. Like getting in the door is easy as fuck, but when you really want to stay with that person and make it work, sometimes it gets to a point where um if you got trauma, it starts to show in the relationship. Like unsolved trauma can show, or unsolved issues, especially if you have your own issues and you don't work on them before you get in a relationship. It's not easy. Like myself, there's things that I need to work on, obviously. So I'm not no saint or shit, can't talk. But um yeah, like I will work on those things, but it is not easy out here. But if I do like get into another relationship or something like that, which I don't even want to do because I just want to stay single. I really just want to work on myself personally. I'm just over love, whatever. I'm just gonna be mature about it and not talk to other people about things or tell people. I mean, unless it's like abusive, then they're gonna somehow know. But I just want to like keep it to myself. I don't think people need to know every detail of something that's not good. So, yeah. And some people have attachment issues. Like, they want to just jump into it and never work on themselves. It's like, you ain't never gonna get over that if you just attached to like someone else. You can't be with yourself. It's like, self love is important. Like, it really is. And yeah, that's basically it. But I'll see you on the next video.